The clock in the hallway strikes 7 as I hurry up the icy walkway toward the 2-story colonial house on Maplebridge Lane. Snow crunches beneath my boots, and every exhale turns to mist in the cold December air. I'm late again, story of my life. In my hands, I clutch a small wooden box, hand-carved, a peace offering. When I push the door open, warmth spills out. Golden light, laughter, the smell of roasted garlic and wine. Clara, there you are, sweetheart. Grandpa Walter pulls me into his arms before I can even step out of my coat. His hug feels like home. His cologne, cedar and something old-fashioned, wraps around me, comforting in ways I can't explain. How's the house, dear? You settled in yet? The room goes quiet. My dad's fork drops against his plate with a sharp clang. My stepmother, Diane, freezes mid-pour, red wine trembling at the lip of the glass. I blink. My house. Grandpa's smile falters, his gray brows knit together. The house on Sycamore Street, he says slowly. The one I sent the money for last month. You love it, don't you? For a second, no one breathes. Then Dad stands so quickly his chair screeches backward. Dad, we'll discuss this later. Clara just got here. My stepmother sets the wine down too carefully. My half-sister, Emily, stares at me, eyes wide. Confused, she doesn't know either. Something icy settles in my stomach. The dining room, with its glittering chandelier and gleaming mahogany table, suddenly feels like a stage. And I'm the only one who didn't get the script. I glance at the wall of framed photos. Birthdays, vacations, graduations, I'm barely in any of them. The few that include me were taken during Grandpa's visits. Grandpa Walter looks at me again, searching my face. You didn't get the house, did you? My father's jaw tightens. Dad, it's complicated. Then uncomplicate it, Grandpa says evenly. Silence stretches like glass. Diane clears her throat too brightly. Clara, tell everyone about that art class you're teaching. Isn't that nice? Her attempt to change the subject makes my skin prickle with embarrassment, but something inside me refuses to shrink this time. Actually, I say, I'd like to hear more about this house. Grandpa Walter stands slowly, placing both palms flat on the table. I wired $480,000 for a property on Sycamore Street. Richard told me it was a graduation gift for you. The air feels heavy, like it's pressing down on my chest. Dad forces a laugh. It's a temporary arrangement, Dad. We're just managing it until Clara finishes school. That's not what you told me, Grandpa says, his voice low but sharp. And in that instant, I know. I know that the family dinners, the sudden invitations after years of silence, the fake smiles, they weren't reconciliation. They were performance, for him. You used me, I whisper. My father doesn't deny it. Deanne looks away. Emily's face falls, as if she's realizing for the first time how deep the cracks in this family run. The money was meant for Clara, Grandpa says, anger trembling in his tone. Not for your SUV or your daughter's riding lessons. The truth slices through the air. Pack your things, Clara, he says firmly. You're coming to Denver with me. Dad's face flushes crimson. Don't be ridiculous. She's my daughter. No, Grandpa says. You stopped acting like her father a long time ago. The words hit harder than any slap. I look again at the family portraits, the perfect trio smiling at birthdays, holidays, graduations. Always 3 faces, never 4. I pick up my coat. My voice shakes only slightly when I say, I'll get my things. Upstairs, I pause at Emily's door. Her room is huge, 3 times the size of the attic I grew up in. I don't hate her. She didn't choose any of this. She was born into the comfort I was denied. When I come back down, Grandpa is waiting by the door, car keys in hand. Dad's whispering furiously at Diane, who's dabbing fake tears from dry eyes. "You ready?" Grandpa asks. I nod, holding the small wooden box against my chest, the gift I carved that no one will ever receive. Outside, snow falls softly against my face. The Christmas lights strung along the eaves glitter like nothing happened inside that house. "Your mother would be proud," Grandpa says quietly. "She never let anyone walk over her either." I swallow hard. I don't remember my mother. She died giving birth to me. But in that moment, I feel her strength in my bones. As we drive away from Maplebridge Lane, I don't look back. Some families aren't worth saving. But some people still are. 3 days later, I'm in Denver. The city skyline sparkles through Grandpa's penthouse windows, indifferent to the collapse of everything I once believed in. Bank statements cover the kitchen island like a battlefield. "There," Grandpa says, tapping one with his finger. "Wire transfer to your father. Memo line, Clara Evans' home purchase." I stare at the document until the words blur. "That's my name," I whisper. "That's supposed to be my house." He nods grimly. "He used your name, bought it in Diane's." Next come the emails, printed copies of my father pretending to act on my behalf, phrases like "for Clara's future" and "she'll love the neighborhood." My stomach turns. There's even a forged signature, a shaky scrawl of my name that looks nothing like my handwriting. "Forgery," Grandpa says, his jaw set. "That's a federal offense." He opens his laptop, revealing a spreadsheet. "This is your trust fund, the one I opened when you were born. It should have had nearly $300,000 when you turned 18. The column of transactions bleeds red. Tuition for Emily's private school, family vacations, designer clothes. All my money. All gone. I press my hands to my temples. "I worked night shifts at a diner," I whisper. "For years, I could barely afford rent." "I know," Grandpa says softly. "You were struggling while your father was spending your future." Then he opens another folder. "Your mother left you something. Not much, but she wanted it for you. $42,000. Diverted into bathroom renovations." The same bathroom Diane had shown off years ago. Italian marble, heated floors, gold fixtures. I remember her laugh. "It's luxury, darling. You wouldn't understand." My throat burns. "Look at this too," Grandpa says. "A credit card in your name, $23,000 in debt." My name, my credit, my future, all stolen. He explains how the gift money reported in my name means I'll owe taxes for funds I never received. It's not just theft, it's sabotage. "How could they do this?" I whisper. "Because they thought you'd never fight back," Grandpa says. He's quiet for a long moment. Then he walks to his study and returns with an old portfolio. Inside are my childhood sketches, crooked drawings of houses and bridges, done with pencil smudges and the messy imagination of a girl who dreamed of being an architect. "You kept these?" I ask. He smiles faintly. "Always. I knew you were the builder in this family, not your father with his schemes." Something inside me shifts, a small, steady flame. I'm done begging for love that should have been unconditional. Done being invisible. That night, I sleep deeply for the first time in years. Morning brings movement. Grandpa introduces me to a friend, Dean Marshall, head of the architecture program at the university. Another, a lawyer named Morgan, begins investigating the fraud. Each document they uncover is another wound, but also another layer of armor. By the end of the week, I've filed an official report for identity theft. When the officer hands me the form, she says, You're protecting your future. That's courage. My phone won't stop buzzing. Voicemails from Dad. You're destroying this family. From Diane. You're embarrassing us. From Emily. I don't understand what's happening. I block them all. The silence feels sacred. That night, Grandpa finds me standing on the balcony, watching the Denver skyline. They'll fight back, he warns. I know, I say, but I'm done running. And I mean it. 2 weeks later, the banging on the office door nearly shakes the glass. I know she's in there. Dad's voice. I freeze at my drafting table. Evan, a kind coworker, places a hand on my shoulder. Stay here, Grandpa says, stepping toward the door. He opens it, just enough to block Dad's view of me. This is a place of business, Grandpa says coolly. Don't lecture me, Dad snaps. Do you know how much damage you've done? People are calling us every day relatives, friends. Clara needs to stop this nonsense. Honesty, Grandpa says, is the foundation of peace. You wouldn't understand. Dad lowers his voice, threatening. You've got fake reviews popping up about your company. You think that's a coincidence? My chest tightens. They're targeting him now. When the door closes, Grandpa looks at me with calm resolve. Let them try, he says. Reviews don't build homes, integrity does. Later that week, my architectural model, a sustainable home design, wins department recognition. My professor praises the work. Clients begin to ask for my input. For the first time, I feel seen. But peace doesn't last. One afternoon, leaving class, I find Dad waiting near the university gate. 23 years I raised you, he says, blocking my path. And this is how you repay me, turning everyone against me. I didn't turn anyone against you, I say quietly. You did that yourself. His face reddens. Your mother would be ashamed. The words sting, but not like they used to. She'd be ashamed of you, I say, voice trembling but strong, for making her daughter feel like a ghost. Students have gathered nearby. One of them, Melissa, steps forward. You okay, Clara? The crowd grows, forming a quiet barrier between me and him. This is a private matter, Dad hisses. Then stop making it public, I reply. Campus security appears. He leaves, muttering that it's not over. But deep down, I know it is. That evening, Grandpa calls. It's done, he says. Richard's partnership with my company is terminated. Morgan filed cease and desist letters. You're protected. My chest loosens. Thank you. He pauses. You were never the problem, Clara, remember that. In the weeks that follow, everything shifts. Dad loses his job. Diane, forced to work for the first time, takes a cashier position at a boutique she once bragged about shopping in. Emily drops out of college when tuition isn't paid. Their empire collapses. I don't celebrate, I just move forward. My new apartment is small but full of sunlight. My designs fill sketchbooks. My journal pages are covered in lines that don't sound like pain anymore. They sound like beginnings. One Saturday morning, Evan and I hike up a trail outside Denver. The air is sharp and clear. At the summit, he looks out at the horizon and says, "It's beautiful." I realize he's not talking about the view. Something inside me breaks open, and the tears come raw and unstoppable. I still wish they'd loved me, I whisper, even after everything. He doesn't tell me not to. He just says, they don't know how to love anyone properly, not even themselves. We sit in silence, watching the light shift across the mountains. Later that week, Grandpa updates his will to secure my future. The house on Sycamore, now legally mine, is being transferred back. When Diane calls again, her voice is brittle. We're losing everything, she says. Richard, drinking again. Emily won't get out of bed. We need your help with Walter. The old me might have tried to fix it. But the new me just says, you only remembered I existed when he was watching. And I hang up. That night, I sit at my drafting table, tracing lines for a new project. A small home built from sustainable wood and glass. The blueprint looks like peace. The kind you build yourself. I think about the house on Maplebridge Lane, the dinners where my seat was just decoration, the fake laughter, the invisible daughter. And I realize something important. Some people build walls to keep you out. But I was born to build foundations strong enough to stand without them. As the clock strikes midnight, I run my fingers across the carved snowflake pattern on the wooden box I once meant to give them. Now it sits on my shelf, a reminder of everything I survived. I whisper to the quiet room. I finally came home.